I now call to order the January 6, 2022 regular Board of Aldermen meeting. Please, if you would, join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started, I want to take just a minute to thank Cindy Lay, our HR generalist, for filling in for the city clerk for tonight's meeting. So Cindy, roll call please.
Mayor Oliveri.
Here.
Alderman Becker.
Here.
Alderman Morez.
Here.
Alderman Osteen.
Here.
Alderman Russ.
Here.
Alderman Rucker.
Here.
Alderman Schuman. Here.
All right, we do have a quorum. Under Mayor's Communications, I do have a few comments tonight. I first would like to start by welcoming our newest alderman, Kelly Schuman, to her first board meeting.
Thank you.
Kelly's appointment was approved by the board in a special session a few minutes ago. She will complete Alderman Walker's term representing Ward 3. I want to thank the individuals who applied for the alderman's position for their willingness to serve our community. Also a comment, the city of Osage Beach experienced a robust 2021, and considering ongoing developer conversations, hold on to your hats, 2022 will be another exciting year. And finally, congratulations to Dan and Chris Foster on the announcement of their proposed new complex and conversations with Camden County. We move on to citizens' communication. This is time set aside on the agenda for citizens and visitors to address the mayor and board on any topic that is not a public hearing, and there are no public hearings on tonight's agenda. For those here in person, speakers will be restricted to 3 minutes unless otherwise permitted. Minutes may not be donated or transferred from one speaker to another. Visitors attending via online will be in listen-only mode. Any questions or comments for the mayor and board may be sent to the city clerk at tbethran@osagebeach.org no later than 10 a.m. on the board meeting days, which are the first and third Thursdays of each month. Submitted questions and comments may be read during the citizen communication section of the agenda. The Board of Aldermen will not take action on any item not listed on the agenda, nor will it respond to questions, although staff may be directed to respond at a later time. The Mayor and Board of Aldermen welcome and value input from the public. Is there anyone here this evening who would like to address the board? Seeing none, we move on. Our first item of business is the approval of the consent agenda. If the board desires, the consent agenda may be approved by a single motion. Tonight's agenda consists of the minutes of the December 16th, 2021 Board of Aldermen meeting and the January 6, 2022 bills list. Are there any questions, comments, or proposed revisions? If none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Osteen, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Morose, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda is approved. For the minutes, there is no unfinished business on tonight's agenda. So we move on, moving to our first item of new business, which requests a first and second reading of Bill number request a first reading of Bill 22-01, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to sign a software as a service agreement with Tyler Technologies for an amount not to exceed $57,089 annually for the first 3 years under the new agreement. Assistant City Administrator, please.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the board. This upgrade was briefly discussed at our budget workshops. It is technically the first of 3 upgrades that we're going to be doing to the Encode system this year. This is the biggest one. It has to come first because the other 2 are kind of contingent on this one happening. This is us moving our product, Encode version 9, from a on-premise server into the cloud. The product currently lives on a server in our basement here. The server itself was purchased with Encode back in '07, so we have certainly gotten the full depreciable value out of that server, so that's good, but it is time to retire that server, so this is good timing for that as well. As you guys know, the Encode is the financial software. It is the backbone of the accounting system that we use here. The attached agreement will allow us to move our current version of Encode into the cloud. The move does have several advantages for staff. It lowers maintenance costs by taking one of our servers out of service. It provides easier remote access for our staff. It provides increased security. It also includes an employee portal, as well as provides easier scalability and disaster recovery. A few other things that I didn't put in here that I want to add. Right now, all updates for Encode, because we have an on-premise server, they have to be done manually by our IT manager. They have to be done after hours. Sometimes these upgrades or sometimes these software upgrades can take hours and hours. So one of the nice things about this is they will become automatic when they go to the cloud. They'll be managed by Tyler Technology. Michael will still see all those behind the scenes, but he won't have to be the one to initiate it. So let me talk a little bit about the finances here. Currently, the city spends about $40,360 a year on the similar services that we have for the on-premise server. When we move that to the cloud, that cost will go up to $57,089, as the mayor alluded to just moments ago. That cost will be locked in for the first 3 years of this agreement, and then after that, they have the ability to provide or to up the cost as much as 5% per year. There's one little technical thing that's going to happen this year that I want to make sure that the board understands. We're currently paid through August with all of our current software licensing. So right now we are tentatively looking at this install to happen sometime between April and June. So when that happens, we will get a credit for anything, through August that'll come back to us for the old fee. So the first year will probably be a little less than the $57,089, but then the next 2 years, you'll see that before it finally goes up. This is a product that has been very, very good for us, very stable for us over the last 14 years. What we are asking for today will get us stable and get us through the next decade with this financial software. There's a lot of different directions that we could have gone with this. There are other versions of Encode out there, but it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to our staff, to Gina, for us to spend 6 figures to upgrade to a whole other version when the version that we have works perfectly well for us. So this is a nice feature for us that allows us to add more things that we can do for our customers, more accessibility for our staff, more accessibility electronically for our customers without spending 6 figures. So I do recommend approval. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
All right, Mike, thank you. Are there any questions or comments? If there are none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I have a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Rucker, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, first reading's approved. Moving on, our next item, request a motion to approve the purchase of a 2023? Okay.
That's the new year, new model year.
Okay. Ford F-450, 193, I'm not going to read all that, with liquid spring suspension systems and a 2022 Osage 168 Warrior Conversion Type 1 Osage ambulance for emergency service supply at a price not to exceed $236,000. Chief.
This is a request to purchase a new Type 1 Osage ambulance, 2023 Ford F-450 four-wheel drive chassis with a V8 gas engine and liquid spring suspension, and a new 2022 Osage 168-inch Warrior conversion box from Emergency Services Supply. The unit will replace our 2010 Ford F-450 ambulance. We solicited bids and received 2 bids. The ambulance supervisor and staff have reviewed the bids and recommend the Osage ambulance from Emergency Services Supply. Emergency Services Supply was the low bidder at $232,762. If the vendor is able to obtain a 2022 chassis, the overall cost will decrease. After receiving the bids, we received information about a new ultraviolet disinfecting light option that will help disinfect like COVID and everything else that's going around. The cost to have this installed during the build would all be approximately $3,000. To include this option, we were asking for a cost not to exceed $236,000. Included in the price of the ambulance is the power cot and power load system. By placing this order today, we will not receive, or the tentative delivery date on the ambulance is March of 2023. They're that far backlogged. At this point, they're not sure if we can get a 2022 chassis. That's why they quoted the 2023. Osage Ambulance is located in Lynn, Missouri, and is a reputable manufacturer that several neighboring ambulance and fire districts purchase their units from. Police Department recommends approval.
All right, thanks, Todd. Are there any questions or comments? I just have one. I don't know that much about chassis, but is there a difference, a proposed difference between the 2022 chassis and the 2023? And is it worth,
I'm not sure what the cost difference is.
all right,
I don't have the quote in front of me.
okay. I just didn't know if it would be better to go ahead and get to 23, if there'd be that much, more advantage for that or not. Okay.
I'm sure we could just tell them to go ahead and that we want the 23, and this is that's the price that's quoted.
Maybe a question to ask, and if there's not that much of a difference, if they can get us to 23, it'd be nice to have the 22 price.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? If not, is there a motion to approve? Alderman Becker. Do I have a second?
A second.
Alderman Osteen. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is approved. Our final item on tonight's agenda, request a motion to approve the purchase of 2 2022 Ford Interceptor utility vehicles and 1 2022 Ford F-150 responder truck at a cost not to exceed $112,454 from Joe Mockin Ford Lincoln off of the State of Missouri contract number CC 2200220004. Chief?
Again, this is a request to purchase 2 2022 Ford Police Interceptor utility all-wheel drive vehicles at a price of $37,482 each after the deletions and additions that are noted on the document, and 1 2022 Ford F-150 responder truck at a price of $37,490 after the following additions that are listed on there. Police Department recommends approval.
All right, thanks, Chief. Questions or comments?
I have,
Yes, Alderman Becker.
these are replacements, so we'll be getting rid of 3 vehicles then?
Correct.
Okay. So,
And it's Alderman Osteen.
My question is, how firm are they on the delivery date?
90 to 120 days out.
You think that's feasible?
That's usually what it's been for the past several years that we've been buying vehicles. We usually get them between March and May.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand your comment, and we don't know if the computer aspects, all of the components and whatever, same problem that anyone going through a dealership right now has. So, all we can do is go by what and that's one of the reasons why, we've asked the chief to go ahead and put that order in early, to assure that we can get these as soon as we possibly can. So, are there any other questions? Yes, Alderman Morose.
I just want to make a comment that I appreciate the response from the Chief Davis. I had requested, like, where are some other bids or whatever, and the fact that has to be state through the state contract, and I didn't, because I always like to deal locally, obviously. So I appreciated that. Thank you very much.
All right. Anything else?
Thank you.
If not, is there a motion to approve? Alderman Osteen, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Ross, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We move on to communications, starting with communications from the board. Alderman Ross.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple of comments. One, welcome to Kelly. Look forward to serving with you. Glad to see somebody a little younger than some of us up here. It's nice to see some folks from the younger community who want to be involved.
Can I make a complaint too?
Complain all you like. Complain all you like.
HR's not here tonight.
You can complain all you like. And secondly, I wish y'all a warm January. I won't be here next week or the next meeting, and hope to be gone for 3 weeks. So hope it's nice and warm for you.
Well, we hope you enjoy your trip.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Alderman Morose.
Again, welcome. I appreciate having another female on the board. For sure, for sure. Anyway, I just think that our holidays and the response of going through the Osage Beach Park with the lighting, that was very, very appreciative, and I received some responses of how nice it looked. And I just want to say, here's looking to 2022, and let's pray that this pandemic will come to a close or at least get lessened. Thank you.
Alderman Osteen.
I too would like to welcome Kelly to the board. I am happy I'm no longer the youngest or the newest member of this board. The downside is I can no longer play the I'm the newbie and I don't know any better card. So, but you'll have that in your back pocket now. The other comment I have is health is paramount to happiness. So people, please make sure to take care of yourselves.
Yeah,
That's all.
amen.
All right, thank you. Alderman Becker.
Just welcome Kelly, and that's it.
Alderman Schuman.
I just want to thank everybody for appointing me into this position. I'm really excited. And also thank you to Public Works for their snow removal this morning with our first big snow of the year, so.
They did a great job, but thank goodness it wasn't any worse. I was able to go out and blow it off with my leaf blower, so, I felt really good about that. Old people have it a little more difficult, they say, trying to remove snow. Just, I've heard.
Really?
Alderman Rucker.
Well, welcome, Kelly. Welcome from the great state of Florida, and we'll be looking forward to serving with you. That's all.
All right. Let's move on now to staff. City Administrator.
And just a couple things. Again, welcome Kelly. I'm sure she'll be tired of hearing from me over the next couple weeks, but that's okay. Just tell me slow down if I'm sending you too much stuff. I do want to thank Michael. This is the first meeting. We've got all 4 TVs up. It's working wonderfully. I know he mentioned earlier we got one final piece to kind of tweak out the speakers and get a little more upgraded speaker system. But, even before COVID, we struggled with this room. And I appreciate the board having faith in staff and giving us the funds to finally do it right the first time and get it done. Plus, we got some new upgraded technology. So it is very nice. I know not just when we're on Zoom or not just when we have presentations, but there's a lot more trainings that happen in here. A lot of the departments use this. So this room is utilized beyond 2 Thursdays of a month and with P&Z. So I do appreciate that. I know that every time we'd bring you a bill or ask for stuff, and it took us 2 or 3 budgets to do it, but it's done right and it's very, very nice. And Michael's got one more piece to oversee, and he's kind of our expert at it. And it's very user-friendly. He just had to show me one time. So very user-friendly for us that aren't so tech-savvy sometimes. I also want to thank Todd and half of his Luke command staff. I know they've got people out with surgeries and stuff, and I know they've been on the road. I haven't seen Todd in a couple days because he's been working some nights. So I know that just like all the departments, all hands are on deck, but we are seeing kind of a light at the end of the tunnel on getting more applicants, the competitive pay and some other things we've done. We're finally seeing some, just seeing some progress on that. I know Kevin will probably have his own upgrade. I know the police have been interviewing and gotten people started. So I'm really hopeful 2022, not only will we continue growing, but meeting the demands of our growth. I think we're going to be a little better on our workforce for a variety of reasons. So I even know I've got some applications to look at. So Cindy will be very, very busy with the departments now filling them. So a couple other things. I know next week is the legislative reception hosted by the chambers and the CVB. I appreciate the last minuteness, your response to the last minuteness from hearing from them. I know I've got everybody's reservations, or at least yeas or nays, so I'll see most of you there. MML has their legislative thing at the Capitol. I believe I've heard from everybody on that, so everybody should be good to go in February with that particular conference. LORDAC does have an annual meeting at the end of the month, or the 20th. I sent out, again, more information about that. You guys are welcome to attend. I know some of you attend LORDAC throughout the year. COVID kind of stopped some of that, but if you can spare the morning, come to our annual meeting. It's a good time to kind of update on what we've been working on and what's ahead for 2020, so you are invited. I'm not gonna beg you, but you do get breakfast, and so that's always a good carrot, I guess, to get people. But I would encourage you to come and hear what we've been doing the last challenging last 18 months, and then what we've got ahead of us. Other than that, I'll be possibly bombarding you with some emails. I really want to get the strategic plan, kind of discuss mission statement and some other tail end things that were pending at year end. And I really want to get those on the books because I know, like Kevin's in Florida, Richard's going to be on the beach next week. That way I can try to plan the best I can around your vacation schedules in the first 6 months. Plus it helps staff also plan our time. So I've kind of waited. Now that this position is filled, I've kind of been holding off, so we'll get Kelly started, and so you will be hearing a lot of things from me on that end. So, and that, welcome Kelly, and happy 2022.
Thank you. City Attorney.
Well, and welcome Kelly, and I'm glad you're on the board. Having a full board is important, having a full quorum is important, having 6 of you makes the system work much better. As far as what I've done most of this year and the end of last year, the conversion to Show Me Courts is coming along. It's been a computer adventure. I've gone from being able to just jot my initials on a traffic ticket and put in a date to 7 different clicks of the mouse on 7 different dialogue boxes to get a case file. Now, I am sure that there's got to be a simpler way to do this, but I got to learn to do it the hard way and do it the right way first before I try to simplify it. In the course of doing that, though, we've had some oddball stuff come across the line, just in terms of the way the officers enter the tickets and the way the tickets come over, and I have been just, it is not a surprise to me, but it deserves comment that the police officers I asked for help on these things have been just outstanding. I took several of these issues to the chief and got satisfaction or things that were worked out very quickly. And when I saw the road guys the next day, they had all heard from the chief, they all had answers, and we got all those things fixed within 48 hours. So it was really satisfactory and kind of heartwarming that the way that the road guys who have plenty to do, and this is not their problem, were very responsive and real helpful. So, you know, Show Me Courts is someday we'll be online. I mean, we're online right now, but someday we'll be able to kill all the paperwork too. Other than that, everybody stay warm.
What prize progress, right? HR, they said what prize progress?
I just thought I'd follow up with the city administrator. The city currently has 23 vacancies of budgeted full-time positions. I have posted, there's 10 vacancies posted right now, or openings on the website, and tomorrow I'll be posting our water tech positions, and then 2 part-time positions, one with ambulance and one with transportation. So, but we are in the process, various stages with some of them, and we did have a new police recruit start the academy this week as well, so. That's all I have.
Thank you. Chief?
Well, Cindy stole my thunder on that one.
Sorry.
That's okay. Like Cindy said, Nathan started the academy yesterday and should graduate in April. We've got one more background underway that's an experienced officer already. We've got a couple, I think she sent me over another one today for a recruit. So we're moving forward on that lines. Follow up with Gina, with myself, Lieutenant O'Day working the road. All the other officers have been doing an excellent job stepping up so we can so the rest of them can take vacation, go to training days. So everybody's stepping up to pick up the open slots. So, we couldn't do it. We're all a team. Not one person could do it by themselves. So that's all I've got. And welcome, Kelly.
Quick question.
Yes.
Just a quick question. How many road patrol officers or vacancies do we currently have?
With, not counting the one that's in the academy, we're down 4 still.
4.
Yep.
What do you mean by not counting the one in the academy?
Well,
So he's not here.
He's a vacant spot, so if
Right.
we count him, it'd be 5.
There'd be 5.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And we've got one out on medical leave and one out on paternity. I guess you won't call it that. They just had a new baby. And I do have one more thing.
Yeah.
I just remembered. He wouldn't brag on himself, but Sergeant Morley, I guess it's been about a week and a half now, we had an individual that was released from the hospital, had no ride home, all the way out to Edwards, Missouri. He worked trying to get other agencies to help us get her back home. We didn't have any luck doing that. We were finally able to get a hold of a taxi cab company, and it was a very extremely high fare, and he opened up his own wallet and paid half of it, the other half that the person couldn't pay. So, that's above and beyond. He wouldn't say anything about it, but it made Lake Area happenings, and that's how we kind of found out about it. And he's been recognized for that, but he wouldn't bring it to our attention that he was going to do it. So, but that's the kind of officers we have, that they're going to go out of their way to try to help somebody and get them home. So, just wanted to recognize him for that.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that, Chief. Yeah, he's a good officer, and this is something that we see with him over and over again. So thank you for recognizing him. Also, I've had a chance to visit with the 2 new officers that were just out of the academy, and I would just tell you that they really do like their jobs, and they're young and they're enthusiastic, and I'm looking forward to having them around for a while. So, City Planner.
Well, I'm probably the only person here who's not excited about Kelly being appointed, because we lose her from the planning commission. But I can promise you that she does her homework, her diligence, and she asks questions. Good ones, most of the time, probably. But in all honesty, it's great to have you. Hate to lose you from the planning commission. You were a very valuable member of that group too, but we're excited to have you. So that's all I have here.
Okay, airports.
I don't have anything. Welcome.
Assistant City Administrator.
Welcome, Kelly. You're probably getting tired of hearing that. Just a couple of other updates I want to bring to the board's attention. In December, you guys approved a miscellaneous lift station improvement project that will improve a lift station at Indian Point, the Ledges, and then also one on the corner of Huff and Puff. And unfortunately, we are going to wait a little longer on this. We are still waiting. I was really hoping that in the January, February timeframe, these panels would come in. We are now being told it will be May, June before we get them. The good news is that the contractor has been very amicable and has said, hey, it's no problem. It's fine. I'm ready. You call me and tell me when we're ready to go, and we'll do it. So we've got that. Kevin is diligently trying to do whatever he can to speed that up if possible, but that project will happen this year. It's just not going to happen as soon as we wanted it to. So just make sure you're aware of that. The only other thing I'll say is we have got a extremely busy construction project management schedule for 2022, and I look forward to working with these two gentlemen to make that a reality. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mike. Public Works Operations Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to reiterate from how you already mentioned, and also Alderman Schuman, that we're 2 snow and ice events into the season that weren't particularly taxing. However, we had a couple breakdowns and they were repaired in-house, but the fleet's doing well, and see what the rest of the year brings. So far, so good.
You did replace one of your foremen.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have, he's not new to us, but Zach Wilbur has been promoted from within and backfilled the water foreman position. Thanks for reminding me of that. We're glad to have him, and he's a great addition. I think he'll do very well.
Yeah, I think he will too. Yeah, congratulations on that. All right, IT. We'll save you for the last,
Yes,
Dave.
sir. I just want to second what Gina said and thank her and the board for giving us the ability to do the upgrade. As Gina said, it's a 2-part project, and due to back orders with the audio side, as you can see, the video's up. Audio should be installed in the next 30 to 60 days. And once it all comes together, we won't just be hearing from the 4 that are in the center. They'll be spread across, so it'll be, a lot more user-friendly for you all up sitting up top. So thank you again.
Thank you, Michael, for all your work. This is really a nice system. I mean, it's one that is going to serve us well for quite some time. And it's really nice to be able to hear and see, what's going on. And there's going to be more of a need for this type of service, as Gina said, already. So thank you for all your hard work on it. All right, last but not least, Mr. Van Leer with Cochrane Engineering.
Yes, thank you. So as Mike said, we're getting ready to get ramped up this year, and you're going to be seeing some projects coming out to bid here fairly shortly. First up will be Autumn Lane. That's scheduled to go out to bid at the end of this month. And then Industrial Drive and the two new sidewalks along the Parkway will be bidding in the February-March timeframe. So you'll be seeing those 3 projects kicking off this spring and construction going on through the summer. And then there's a whole host of projects coming behind those, so we'll update you as we get closer to bidding on those. If there's any questions on any of the other projects, that's all I had.
Any questions for Dave? Well, seeing none, our business for this evening is complete, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Be safe going home.